Hi, this is the director of the film The Ultimate Sacrifice. I also acted in it as well as Daniel, I think his name was. Quite bad, I can't even remember. Yeah, so I've always wanted to do a director's commentary on the film as to, what the meaning is behind some of the shots used and the colours and lighting and editing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to run through the whole film explaining why I used whatever technique and what effect it should have on the audience. So hope you enjoy. Right, what better place to at the start? So yeah, this is a voiceover from a play called DNA, which I performed at Headlands School. I was the fictional character of Danny in it. So I'd quite liked the idea of this, because this monologue's got quite a lot of death in it. It's it's a big theme in it is death. So I thought it would be setting the tone, and also the theatre as well. That has got payoff later when Daniel, there's DNA there. When Daniel is in the theatre and he sees Frankenstein. Two auditionees. I liked that, and here we are, first appearance of Daniel. The camera follows him, cause I want him to make sure that he's the main character. The audience should be aware of him. I've got the director, theatre director there, low angle of her to make her seem more powerful, because Daniel is wanting the thing. And speaking of low angle shot, we've got a low angle of the Experiment 1, so that makes the audience look up at Experiment 1, because he's the one in power. The title there with lightning. Blue has connotations of sadness, so this shows that's a journey of sadness for the characters in it, loss and death and that. Just have Daniel walking around the back of his work. We have an establishing shot. Establishing shots are one of my favourite shots in cinema, so I like to, so he's there at work. He's got a NASA t-shirt on to show he sort of likes science fiction and all that. He's looking around the shop, but you can see, you can see that there's a theme of war. That one of the themes is war here. So I wanted to, with visual elements, to show this theme of war and conflict that will play out later. And I also do have an appreciation for the horrors of what had gone on during the war. And as Frankenstein, the film is set just before World War, it's in between World War 1 and World War 2. I thought I may as well carry this over. It's just doing jobs to show that it works here. Camera follows in again. The bars on the stripes on the door, I think that shot shows he's in prison, because later on he's trapped in this room because Frankenstein will come and get him. And you'll also see if there's a reverse shot, there's the theme of war because there's planes there, just to point that out on the picture. There was bars on the window again to show that he was imprisoned in the room. He's just there closing up the shop. Closed. Grabs the keys to lock up the shop. This shows that he's responsible and in charge. Whoever employed him must have quite a lot of trust to give him the keys. Just another establishing shot to show that's closed, and back again with his just finished work. This is Spencer, who the actor Alex is a very good actor. He's very reliable. I do enjoy working with him. This is a bit of comedy, this scene. Also, you'll see in a minute, there's I got the inspiration of this scene from Richard Iordade's 2010 submarine film, which I study at film studies, and I quite liked this idea of the two characters in the film to meet together like this, with these sort of shots where it's back and forth. You don't really see that often in cinema, and one example is the submarine film example with Jordana Bevan and Oliver Tate, so I just pretty much stick to that idea. This is also the theme of war, because Spencer's character mentioned something about his granddad or whatever fighting in the war, so I just wanted to push that theme. And again, he's wearing Daniel's wearing his NASA top, so yeah, they go off together. So as these two will be the main characters in it. Again, I wanted the camera to follow them. It's what's called a tracking shot, because wherever they go, the camera follows them.
If I get enough attention, then I'll get.
This is just a bit of exposition in the dialogue to make sure that the stakes are a little bit more high, because if Daniel doesn't complete the homework, then he will get suspended. So it's cause and effect, narrative cause and effect. So we've got Daniel liking science fiction. You see some Star Trek stuff, a NASA thing. Again, once again, the NASA stormtrooper helmet. So again, this is character building. He got this LED from town, which he mentioned in the scene before, but I didn't really want to make it too explicit that I got it from town. It's just popping the. He thinks a lot of these LED strips. He must like them because he's putting them on his room, and he's just there messing around with the controls here. This will have payoff later, of course. This is the darkness represents that Daniel's going to get plunged into the darkness of the Frankenstein and Experiment 1. He doesn't want to get drawn into this darkness, but it's too late. He will be. So the songs reflect the mood of what the colour is. I just thought it was quite a good idea, and it also gives a bit more explanation for like later scenes when he's sat there with the lights changing colour. You know what I mean? There's quite a aggressive soundtrack here. And this is also just to fully show to the audience what these buttons do. I like zoom-ins actually. Zoom-ins are not really often used in cinema, and I'm not really sure why that is, because it does so much. It forces the audience to look where the camera is and that. I think it's a little bit too dated now, is the zoom-in. I think it was used in the 70s quite a lot, so then I think it pretty much after, I think it'll be around the late 80s they stopped using it, which I don't really agree with, to be honest. With them saying it looks dated or whatever, but yeah, that's just been cut from a deleted scene where, just to move along the plot, I suppose, because he looks out the window. But I just felt it wasn't needed; it would just slowed it down. And so with him taking his top off and that, so he's not got any clothes on. Again, this is the plunge into darkness or whatever that I was talking about. How Daniel was plunged into darkness. This is the next day. Just a quick cut. Yeah, the use of not having a top on, it shows that he's not shielded, but he's not covered, so that means he's exposed and vulnerable. Again, it's Daniel going into the darkness again, because he's going up into the loft, and the loft was complete blackness. So this shows that he's getting dragged into this by his it's not his own free will, but he's being forced to. It's a truck in where the camera gets closer to the object, so this emphasises to the audience that this is a important part of the plot here. Daniel's facial expression, it shows that he's struggling because it's quite heavy. This symbolises that this is such a heavy burden that he'll have to carry out what's on the contents of this box. This is a point of view shot where you're looking through the character's eyes, so this is going through his thoughts, going, oh, what's in here? I need to take it out. I need to know what's in here, because it's such an intriguing thing, and this is the first time he's came across this unusual box. There he is, just opening it, and so it gives the audience a glimpse of what's in there. But it's an enigma code, because you don't know what's in it. No one knows what's in it. It makes the audience question. Oh, and the low angle shot of the loft, the blackness of the loft. This gives the power of the darkness, that it will consume Daniel. Yeah, just a quick cut to that's being omitted. You don't need to know. Don't need to know that he's walking to the thing. A goblet. This is a symbolism of what will happen in the plots. In the exposition. Sorry. So the experiment one gets a goblet of water thrown over the top of him to stop his skin melting off. So this is that is the prop that was used to. This is the a few. It's quite funny because a few of my friends' names were on there. Just I wanted to give them a not a cameo, but like a little nod or Easter egg that only they will notice. That their descendants. Yeah, I'm the descendant. Well, not Daniel's the descendant of these, but it also shows that Frankenstein is like the great granddad of Daniel. So this gives a little bit of reason as to why this box is there.
I did wonder what was the rest of our family tree.
Just another letter that's being pulled out. This is exposition. It's what happened before the start of the film, and so this is giving information about why that box is there, and then it obviously gives Daniel the reason to the reasoning to.
Then we attempted to reanimate the corpse by raising the person up to the
Sorry, my mind's just gone blank. The reasoning to
bolt of lightning struck the corpse was intended
resurrect Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster.
the person was on. However, his face was very different. On one half of his visage, it was normal. On the other side, however, it was as though
The letter's just shaking a little bit, so this shows that that Daniel's hand's shaking as he's reading the letter a little bit. So this shows that he's moved and he's taken in the information of what the contents of the letter is, and also the letter's not obviously it's white. It's not white. It's a tan colour. So this shows it's quite aged and it's been in the family for a long time, and this shows that Daniel's ancestors have been covering this up for the better. They think it's for the better of him. The ripped sides also shows that you can see along the edges it's not just straight clean cuts. It's all been it's ripped off. So again, this shows it's quite hastily been omitted from the Frankenstein family heirlooms or whatever. You know what I mean? It's something that's supposed to be forgotten.
this is a learning curve, and a good one at that.
Again, the letter's shaking, so it sort of shows that there's a bit of tension here. He doesn't like what he's reading, but he must carry on.
Being vital to find a brain that is real for this experiment to be successful.
Another point of view shots. This makes the audience understand what Daniel may be going through, and a close-up of an extreme close-up of the photo, which this is our first, our second glimpse of the antagonist of the film. And so if a person dominates the screen, this shows that they're in charge, and so this will foreshadow that the tyrannical clutches that Experiment 1 has over Daniel, with him dominating the screen. Just a photo of him shows the amount of power that this character has. Just a single photo can dominate the entire screen and over the top of Daniel. Yeah, this is again just he holds this photo on a slant, which a tilted Dutch angle. I would like the tilted Dutch angle, which is when the whole camera is on a slant. So again, look, he does it here as well. So this shows that this antagonist is he's bad, and he tilts Daniel's life because of just by a mere encounter with him, and that the black and white photo obviously shows that's an old photo. It sort of gives again it's going, the camera's zooming into the Experiment 1's photo, which again it goes back to the point that just a photo of Experiment 1 has got enough power over Daniel. It's consumed him. once again, it's just repeating what I was saying earlier with the prop, that it's a tan colour, so it's old, and it's also been ripped, so it's just been it's been omitted. It's been deliberately omitted from the Frankenstein family. This is a tilted Dutch angle, which I was sort of saying earlier, which it shows the psychological or physical struggle that Daniel will be that Daniel will be burdened with. This is just tying with the with Mary Shelley's novels, the Adam. And here is the picture of the 1931 Frankenstein. I wanted the film to have a tie-in with both the 1931 film and also the novella as well. So I sort of want it to be where both of them exist. Once again, the photo's on a tilt, so this shows that it's a psychological struggle and a physical struggle too. Once again, it's another point of view shot, so you're looking through the eyes of
Frankenstein Castle deeds.
Of Daniel.
It's by law the owner of Frankenstein Castle.
Again, the letter's shaking again, but this letter's a bit more fine. It's not as damaged as the other ones. It's because it still has importance that the deeds of the castle is still intact to prove that it belongs to the Frankenstein family. Yeah, it's just reading it.
If the structure is unstable, however, it is preferred that the building stays the same.
Just folding it. Oh, you'll also notice that Daniel's got nail paint on one of his hands, but not the other one. This shows that this conflict, this decision that is in half of a mind to later on in the film, he's in half of a mind to carry out what Experiment 1 wishes from Daniel, but then the other half he knows that it's not morally correct to do this. So with him, and you carry out tasks with your hands. So I think it's like quite a symbolic way of showing that he's 50-50 with it. He's not 100%, wanting to either carry out the task or not carrying out the task, of the responsibility on his shoulders that he's been forced into this situation. He's just rereading this again. I think it's really to show that he's fully processing what these deeds are for, and that. And it's also to repeat into the audience that this castle exists, it's real, and that which will pay off later. He puts it by his bedside table, which I think it shows that it's on his mind. It's fresh in his mind. It's still on his mind. The hand movement shows it's also he's thinking about it. He's processing it. He's not quite there with he's still got like a thinking process of it. His cogs are turning. He's just getting his iPad out. This is an extreme close-up, so the audience will look at it and go, "Oh, what does that say? What does that say?" So it's sort of like creates a little bit of panic and fear into the audience's mind because they're thinking like, "Oh, what was that? What was that?" And it's a newspaper article, so it's a news, so it must be important and that. And you can just see Frankenstein's monster's part of Frankenstein's monster's face. But you get bits and little of information for the audience to gradually realise what the whole picture looks like. Again, it's just like strike fear into their minds as to how dangerous this Frankenstein's monster actually is, which it sort of makes Daniel seem, inferior or in comparison to. He doesn't stand a chance if he tries to battle against Frankenstein's monster. Again, this is a high-angle shot, so it makes Daniel look inferior because the audience is looking down on him. So this is a zoom in again. So it's the audience are focusing on Daniel's thought process during this. How can his ancestor make a monster that's so evil? It's done all these bad stuff that this newspaper article has shown. He's just there processing it, and he's going back through the box because he knows it's fresh in his mind. And this is just to confirm that it is the same monster. It is the same sort of thing. See, because Daniel's in awe. He can't believe that his own ancestors has managed to do such a bit awful task of creating a monster that's so odious and that. You can see the confusion in his face and that, and he's putting it back in. Again, it's going back to the deeds. He's put it on his bedside table. It's the one document that he's got out, and he's not actually put it back into the box. Again, this is that opening shot was just the darkness surrounded him. He's always and then he's been plunged into red, which that's connotations of blood, which we'll see in a minute. There's a lot of blood on Experiment 1's face. High angle shot makes him look inferior, because he doesn't know what's going on. He's just woke up to this and what is going on, and he's not pressed the remote button at all. So there must be something else going on here. Again, and I was going back to the point I made earlier with because he's not wearing anything, he's not wearing a top or anything like that, so he's fully exposed, he's fully vulnerable. He's got no armour to protect him in this situation. This plunge back into darkness and red. This is a low angle tilted, so it shows the amount, the power that Experiment 1 has, and this is just a dream. It would never actually happen. So because it's a dream, this makes Daniel. This shows the audience that Daniel it's fresh on his mind. It is the Experiment 1 has had so much of an impact on Daniel that it's manifested into his dreams. So this shows he's not really safe from Experiment 1, and it gets closer and closer to the audience. He's looking directly at the camera to off-put the audience. It's looking directly at it, so it makes the audience feel like they're also unsafe in this situation. The spinning camera, it makes it more disorientated. Again, going up to the extreme close-up of thing. This is the fast image or whatever. It makes it seem unpredictable, spontaneous. It's supposed to deliberately put off the audience. It's supposed to be creepy. Because we've all had a dream where it's been utterly, creepy and that. So I wanted to emphasise how dangerous this Experiment 1 person is. And the different colours, it makes it really seem unpredictable. Again, going back to the zoom in and the photo, it always goes back to the zoom in of the photo that this photograph has managed to create all of this. She never see Experiment 1 and Daniel in the same shot. This is to show a divide, because they're in separate shots, this gives them two different sides of the scene. So it creates a divide between them, as it creates this barrier that they will not be able to be in the same shot together. Again, he's holding the goblet, so it's going back to the goblet was poured on top of his face. Blackness, plunged into blackness. Daniel's surrounded by blackness. He's being plunged into the blackness, and it wakes up. The white light shows the purity, the truth that he's realised if this is just a dream, and that it's the harsh truth of the situation. A high angle again to show that he's inferior in the situation. He's terrified. He's absolutely terrified of Experiment 1. Awfully terrified. A mere dream has managed to make him seem, makes him inferior. He's just talking to himself, which he has done for the previous couple of dreams or so. This sort of shows that he's just starting to lose his sanity a little bit. Just to hear him play this, he's talking to himself. I really wanted to emphasise this photograph. Now, this one photograph has had so much of an impact on Daniel here. Again, it's the close-ups. It's dominating the screen. Both of them are dominating the screen. It shows the amount of power they will have later on in the narrative. Going flicking backwards and forwards. Like they're both evil. This is Alex just kind of like a montage, I suppose, of him just getting ready to go. Shop keys this will pay off for later. Again, there's a BB-8 badge on there to show that he likes sci-fi. He's got alcohol in his bag, which it sort of shows that is it shows he does have a little bit of an alcohol problem. He just takes a swig of it, and it's first thing in the morning. But it also shows that he needs like liquid courage. He can't do this by himself. He can't take this step into his history project, because at the end of this, it's just his history project. He can't take that step alone. He needs to have a different stimulus to help him. Again, this is the theme of war with the shot of the war bunker. High angle makes him look inferior because he's inferior. It's just him walking through the forest. Unfamiliar territory. He doesn't really know where he's going to an extent, but he gets the gist of where he is. But it looks really small. I've made him look deliberately really small to make him, make the forest seem a lot more vast. And I do also like this view. I absolutely love this view. You can't really see it within the thing, but it just looks gorgeous and that. And it shows that he's Daniel is just trapped in this, immense forest. It is truly quite a grand size and it also explains why no one else has come across this Frankenstein's castle before, because you've got to know it's there to know it's there. Again, it's making him look really small here again. The forest is so vast and that. The low angle shot here you'll see in a minute, it's not to make him look powerful, but again it's to make him look small. The zoom out, this massive ledge that you can't get past, there's nowhere to go around it. He has to go down it, which it gives off a sense that will he make it, or will he will he get damaged or hurt, or so he's made it out. He looks back up at the thing to see how far he's gone. Again, and it's another wide shot here. Wide shots, you can see everything around it. He's small. He's so small, which is also in the greater arc of things. It shows that he's in the battle against Frankenstein and Experiment 1. He's just insignificant. He's tiny. He stands no chance against them. Yeah, you can see he's just struggling to get up there. I think it shows that this is an upward battle. That it's a battle, a struggle to get to where he wants to be. This was actually filmed in a different forest completely, but and then we have Alex back again. Spencer. This is called cross-cutting, where two characters are speaking to each other, but they're in completely different places. So it's going from there's a connection between the familiarity of this street that Spencer and Daniel meet up on. It's also going to like a bridge between the familiarity here and also the unfamiliarity, the disorientation in an extreme close-up to show how this is starting to get intense of Daniel. This is a tilted Dutch angle to show that there is a problem here. There is a problem.
Those experiments happened a long time ago. before my great grandma was born.
Yeah, just give him more exposition.
Whoa, no, calm down, Ashley, it's fine. No, don't worry, no, you're not. Oh.
Running, yeah. The area that it is in is Subi village. Now, it wanted to make sure the village that it made was quite small, quite old and small, because it's supposed to be set in the same village as Frankenstein village, which its name escapes me now. This is a point of view shot to show you don't really know which way to go, but he picks the left side, which will have payoff later because Spence will pick the right side. Low angle of the castle, it shows how big it is. This is the castle. You know, this is the deeds what I've been talking about with the deeds in the previous few scenes. It's just a green screen effect. He's going into the darkness. He's been forced into going into this darkness, into this dark path where he can't really return. And Spencer is trying to make him, not be on that path, not be on that darkness side. But it's too late at this point. Daniel's gone through the threshold, the threshold. It's too late now. Again, I wanted to make sure this village was quite old, and that, the dark corridor. He's just put his coat in his bag. Oh no, sorry, he's putting his coat on. So it shows this place is quite chilly and cold. It gives off the cold atmosphere. It's uncomfortable. You don't want to be there. Yeah, he's just putting it. Yeah. Again, NASA's still showing. It still shows he's got this interest in science and science fiction. He thinks a lot more logically. I'd argue more logically than Spencer. The wind is going towards the direction of the castle, so it sort of shows that Spencer's being drawn into this area, and this is a point of view shot where you're looking out. You're looking through the character's eyes. It shows how vast and big it is, the forest. And it also just shows how massive the castle is too. Again, this is the... you can see the dark tunnel, the darkness that the castle has, and it's... Once again, it's, I've really wanted to emphasise the fact that Daniel was going into this dark path. So this is pathetic fallacy, and pathetic fallacy is one of my most favourite techniques to use. So you can see the clouds are getting a little bit darker and that. Why this is in that shot just previously it shows how small he was again. Yeah, this again back to the clouds. They're getting darker and they're taking up the screen more. So it sort of. It makes the audience, like, oh, something bad's going to happen, something bad's going to happen. They want them to think. I wanted them to think that. How small it is again. He's looking up, and he's just so tiny in comparison to the whole castle, and the roof missing, and also like just bits of rubble around. I wanted to show that this castle has not been used for years and years, and that so it gives a sense of mystery of what's happened. Yep, it's all like lightning and that, so it goes with the lightning that was used in to make Frankenstein be alive, or Frankenstein's monster to be alive. Changing colour to make it seem colder, darker. This is not a good place to be for Daniel. It's also to coincide with the weather. Wide shot makes him look small. Tilted, it makes him. There's a struggle here. There's a psychological struggle. The wildness of the camera just spinning around really quickly. It gives disorientation. We don't know what's happening here at the moment. high angle shot makes him look inferior. So I didn't want to reveal Frankenstein all at once. Frankenstein's monster all at once. I wanted to give him a build up, and then a low angle of Frankenstein's monster. It shows he's got the power here, and the cool shot effect again, which shows that there is a divide between these two characters. They're never in the same shot together, and Frankenstein's monster's coming closer and closer to the screen, so it's supposed to like put off the audience here. And then it's as soon as Daniel's left, it's the clouds are going. They're not dark. You can just see Daniel's a little bit hurt from this. He's running away. He's so scared at what's just happened. He's physically running away, and even though he's well out of the vicinity of the area, he's still running. And this is the challenge. He has to get up all the way up there, extreme close up, to show his dedication. He needs to get up there because he might be in danger. He doesn't get up there straight away. He struggles. He's falling now. He's failing. And also, I think the camera, it just ever so slowly is moving downwards, so it sort of makes the cliff look bigger, and it makes as though the cliff is getting bigger and bigger and bigger for Daniel, and he's got sweat on his face, so it shows he's really struggling, and his feet are falling. So it's he really doesn't. He's against the odds here. He's just grabbing the thing, and he's made it up. He's made it up. Just going back to that really nice shot again to make him seem tiny, insignificant. Doesn't matter. He's not important. Yeah, so it sort of gives a sense of little bit of familiarity, but he's still in unknown territory. He doesn't know where he is. He's just looking back to see if the castle, Frankenstein's following him or not. Point of view shots. You're in the character's eyes. You know how it is to be running. He collapses he falls to the floor. He's that tired. He's sick. You can see he's sick, and then high angle shot shows he's inferior once again. He's physically sick at the sight of Frankenstein's monster. The horizon, you can see the horizon here, so it sort of gives a glimmer of hope that he's out in this open thing. Theme of war again. This is a very high angle establishing shot of the forest again. So this is the B plot, because Spencer's gone in to find Daniel, but he's in a different part of the woods. Once again, I like the spinning camera. It gives disorientation. Low angle is reaching towards the camera, so it's off-putting for the audience because they don't want to be reached at. They don't get looked at by this hideous monster.
You have seen too much.
He's getting closer and closer to the camera to be more off-putting. And once again, a low-angle shot again with you can see the details on Experiment One's face. Look, he's completely dominating this shot here. He's fully reaching out. It's like he's going to grab the audience almost. The voice actor for this, Alex Crofts. He was very talented. He didn't see this scene at all actually until after it'd been completed, so he didn't have much to go on other than my description and that. So I did also think his grunts, the way he performed these lines were truly really, really good, really fitting to the character, really fitting. So yeah, I'm glad I cast him actually. So you've got like a longer shot here, so it's the camera's panning left to right. So it gives a breather. Has this Experiment One gone? Has it? Is it, or is it this being deceitful? So I liked the idea of 1917, the film being just one massive shot. You know, it doesn't cut, or it doesn't appear to cut. So I sort of nicked that idea. So it gives the audience a breather to realise, you know, what's all this about, what's happened, and that. And again, this is like a tracking shot of Spencer, so to sympathise with him. You know, he's a human against this, you know, this paranormal ghost being thing. There is a high angle of Spencer to you know, make him look like inferior. There is just this sense of because there's a filter on the footage to make it look a bit more orangey, so it shows it's the end of the day. It's a sunset, but also the use of this one shot being just one single shot is to show the audience how vast this forest is. You know, how minuscule the characters are if they're in it. So it shows the domain that Experiment 1 has, and Frankenstein's monster has, that they control this massive area, and it's only 2 ghosts. So, you know, it gives off, it really does show, emphasise their authority and power in this situation. Also, it sort of gives the impression that we, the audience, are following the protagonists. We're rooting for them. We are alongside them. We walk their footsteps because we've all had to face a fear that we didn't want to. But so we sort of gives that impression that we're standing there next to them. You know, watching this all unravel before our eyes. I think, yeah, once again you'll see the horizon. So it gives that glimmer of hope that if they work together, they will complete this task. Yeah, you can just see their eyes in there. You know, there is a glimmer of hope. There is a chance. You know, it's going back to the old village. Again, I wanted to make it look really old, harrowing. And then down the familiarity, back to where, you know, these characters feel more comfortable with. This is around the back of. This is one of the first shots I've ever done of the whole film, actually, and it's going back to this establishing shot of it being closed. And as we saw earlier, that Daniel had the keys. So it gives him, you know, the right. You can see him opening that. He's got the right to go into the shop. He's trusted enough to go into the shop. He sits down. He's still, after all, you know, it must have been a while ago, but you know, because the voyage was so great to get to this castle. You know, it's night time. And he's only just back at his shop, not even his house. You know, so he sits down. He's still tired. He's still emotionally drained from what he's just witnessed. Puts his bag on his thing. Darkness again. He's in darkness. There's no lights or anything like that. Very little lighting to show that he's going back in. He's going into the corridor. He's going into darkness. And again, this is going back to. You can see in the window behind. He's imprisoned here. He's imprisoned because you'll see in a minute that there is no way for Daniel to escape this task that he has to complete to resurrect Frankenstein's monster. He has to take a glass of water to it's just completely drained.
War. Conflict.
Tilted, high angle tilted, spinning, you know, disorientation. So there's another zoom in on the zoom in. So the lights go off. Darkness and lightness. It's unpredictable. You don't know what's happening. Nor does he. At this point, you know, Daniel's start again losing his sanity a little bit here in places because you can see the panic on his face. Don't know what to do. You know, he's just again another high angle. you wouldn't really normally put your fingers in your mouth if you're scared or you're worried. Yeah, so he's trying to lock, he can't get out. Yeah. Again, he's surrounded by darkness. Yeah, you wouldn't really do that if you were that stressed. Darkness, he's been plunged into darkness. It's his responsibility of what will happen.
Lightning.
Yes, this once again you'll notice this technique of spinning around gives it disorientation. I really like the idea. It's not really been used in cinema that much actually. If not, it'll be quite a controlled use of it. But with me, I just flung around the camera as if there was like a wasp on it or something. Blue. This blue source, it gives a sense of sadness, of depression. Theme of war in the background again with the airplane. You know, this sort of look is lost from sanity. Zooming in, it's ever so slightly zooming in because this is showing to the audience that you know the amount is how stressed he is at the moment. You know how panic and out of sanity he is. Dr. Frankenstein's monsters coming closer and closer to the camera. It's off-putting for the audience. It's going back to the experiment one. They don't want to be in the present.
I'm a descendant of your creator.
See, this is a bit of cause and effect as Daniel's realised that if there might be a chance if he says the descendant of his creator, it may or may not work. And it has worked, obviously, so he's been plunged into the lightness. This gives a chance that he has been saved, and there's no one about. So he's got a knife, so he's not afraid to use it. But he still sort of knows that he doesn't have a chance. And you'll see he'll get to his knees in a minute, and so he shows he's grateful just for not killing Daniel. Thank you, and that. And he's got the knife in like a non-aggressive way, and he gets up to leave, keys in his hands. He's still surrounded by darkness. You can see in the back, the darkness has consumed him. Again with the going. This is gives payoff to the nails. He's looking at the camera. You see here. It was not to break the fourth wall necessarily, but it's more to for the audience and Daniel to have a reflection moment, to fully process what's been going on, to look into the character's eyes. He's just the pressure's getting to him a bit. You can see here, so it's this is night time. This is actually filmed in the day, but I put a filter on it to make it look like night time, and I was quite happy with that. This is getting cross-cutting, going from both familiarities.
The police is involved. Why have you done that?
I've had to get the police involved because I said that you were missing. You didn't return any of my calls.
Oh my god. You're telling me the police came round to my house earlier today, knocking on the door?
You'll see on his phone he's got a Darth Maul case. This shows that is once again sci-fi. I think this is more like a he likes sci-fi, and also Frankenstein's monster is actually classed as science fiction. It was one of the earliest science fictions entries to the science fiction genre, because it was Frankenstein, the novella, was made in the Victorian era. It was written in the Victorian era, should I say? And there wasn't much sci-fi stuff going on there. So I just thought it's good to link horror, Frankenstein, and more regular science fiction as Star Wars, as Star Trek.
I did tell you could have been. Should I call the police?
No, don't get the police.
This is called conflict on the same side, where so you've got two protagonists and they're arguing against each other, which I think it's quite. I like conflict on the same side, but sometimes it does seem a little bit unnecessary because they might be disagreeing on something that could be mutually beneficial for both of them. But in this case, it's it's to show that Daniel is a flawed protagonist, because if he gets into trouble, if he calls the police or whatever, then the police are obviously not going to believe him. So this gives off a coming of age sort of feel to the theme, to the message. That it's got an overall message of, you know, responsibility and burden, and that placed upon younger people. So it makes Daniel seem flawed, as his he is, you know, before the film started, he was a bad person, really, because he prank called the police, which obviously you don't do that because it's completely morally wrong. So it sort of gives that little, not much though, just a little bit of character arc, you know. But also it sort of makes the audience ever so slightly not like him anymore. Even though he's gone through all this, it's still he's still a bad person. I mean, if he didn't do another piece of homework, then he'd be excluded. He's going up against the wall, so it shows that he physically can't get past this barrier of what he's witnessed and what he's saw, and that there's nothing he can do to penetrate this wall that. And it's again, it's small. It looks so small in the shot. It's even smaller now because he's crouched down. High angle makes him look inferior. Yeah, sorry if I keep repeating that, but it's just one of those things. So, well, I think with the use of the box, because at the end of the day, what's happened is that Daniel is just wanted to do like history homework, and it's just all unravelled and spiralled out of control to this. And again, the picture's getting closer to the camera, so it shows the dominance that Frankenstein's monster has. And if he doesn't complete this homework, then he's excluded. He's permanently excluded from his school. High angle again makes him look inferior. Plunged into darkness. It's too late. He's gone on this path. Low angle of experiment one to make him look evil, to make him look powerful. Again, it's the divide. They're never in the same shot with each other, because it creates a divide, physical divide, a physical barrier between them two. This is giving off. Giving off instructions, telling instructions. Surrounded by red, surrounded by blood and death, and that is both of them actually. There's because experiment one is a failed experiment. That didn't ask to die, but did. Brought into the likeness again. Look, it's a pan around the room to show that he's still looking. There's no one there. A quick zoom in to show, to emphasise what Daniel must be feeling at this moment. And this is this is where the payoff was for the theatre, right at the very start of the film. So the next few scenes was to really show that it doesn't matter where Daniel goes, he cannot escape from this burden, this responsibility, this task, this task to reincarnate Frankenstein. So this is going back to the weapon that Daniel has got a weapon up his sleeve. He's literally holding a knife. Low angle shows he's got a little bit of respect. He should be respected a little bit by the audience for the burden that's on him. Once again, it's just sort of making him look small. He's just this is the backstage. He's waiting in the wings. He's still small in the shot. Although he's still, still inferior. The blue shows the sadness that he must feel, and it's also with the wall as well. You can see with the wall, the opposing wall, that is. The wall is sort of like the sadness, because it's the burden that's on him is pushing against him. It's following him. Point of view shot to make you sympathise with Daniel here. So it's going into the darkness once again. He's going into this dark path. You can't see at the end of that corridor. You just simply can't. And it's so it also shows the how Daniel can't see what happens if he does. What happens after Frankenstein is reincarnated. Camera follows Daniel, so it shows, low angle again shows he's facing his fears here. He's investigating what's going on. He's not running away, and like last time, he's coming to meet them to try and fight against it. Green in films have connotations of science fiction. So again, it's it's showing the theme of science fiction. Again, a divide because they're in two different separate shots. Once again in the darkness, so he's going into that dark path. Extreme close up. Looking at his foot, and he's running away. He can't do it. He can't. This shows that he can't stand up to Frankenstein here. Although he still deserves a little bit of respect. I don't know if you just sort of glimmer of a low angle shot there. He drops the weapon. Again, he's just can't emerge from darkness, and he's so small within the shot. He's going back into the thing. He's forgotten that he's needed on stage at the moment. He's completely forgotten because he's just encountered that. Again, he's having a breather. He can't believe what he's just saw. Again, a little bit of like he's losing his sanity, and it's showing that he's disappeared. Christmas, so it's a festive time. It's a happy time. It's within their narrative. It's jumped forwards a few months. Theme of war again with the rose painting. Red, the fire of red. It sort of gives off like a red blood cell sort of thing. That Christmas decoration. It's cold. He's cold. He feels cold. He's got his jacket on. Again, it's with the red. The red here, it sort of shows he's surrounded by blood. He's surrounded by death. Again, a divide. Is it two separate shots? He can't believe what he's seeing. And he's at work, and he can't escape from this constant threat. And also the music changing too. So it sort of shows that Frankenstein here is in complete control of what's going on here. There is no parameters for Frankenstein. There's snow, which again shows it's Christmas time. It's supposed to be a happy time. It's cold time, so Daniel is surrounded by cold. And again, it's going back to the theme of war, theme of death here. He's literally at a graveyard. So it foreshadows that he's going to die later in the film. He can't escape from this death, from his death. So. He's Pan to really emphasise that these gravestones are here, and that's where Daniel will end up. And usual cool shove effect, which is they're not in the same shot, and he's running away. He can't face his fears. His fear. He can't face his fear now. It's too much. It's too much for him. It's too much for a burden for him. He don't want to do this. So there's
Can't keep going on like this.
So he's wearing his he's wearing a white he's wearing a white top, so this sort of it's supposed to look similar to Dr. Frankenstein's costume. You can see it snowing in the background, so he's surrounded by coldness.
Will I be doing the wrong thing by bringing back?
It's one shot, so it's very real. It's very gripping.
But it's not my fault.
And it's zooming ever so slightly slowly into the facial expressions of Daniel. So, shows that he's it's down to him. There's red and white side. You can see he's got one part of the lighting is red on him, so which sort of shows that evil, that necessary evil of do I resurrect Frankenstein or not. He also had a white, black and red tie. So this shows he's physically been choked up by his decision. It's up to his neck in his decision. This is the mill. It's the old mill that got burnt down in the original 1931 Frankenstein. So I just wanted to pay tribute to that, really, because that's where Frankenstein died, and that's his bones there. That's his bones which he got told to resurrect. Use them as to resurrect. So you can see a bit of the side of the wooden plank that's fallen down is partly burnt. Right, here we are, the climax. This is the end of the story. So this is another room that's within the castle. This is where Frankenstein got resurrected. Again, it shows it's a bit disused because it's got the roof onto it. Although in the meantime, Daniel has managed to get some systems working up again. So it shows he's been at it for a long time. This is a task that wasn't very quick. It was a long decision. Again, so this is he's wearing the white top t-shirt to make him look like his ancestor, Dr. Frankenstein. Has also got the aging. It's like he's got wrinkles on him to show that this is such a tiresome job. Again, it's going back to the alcohol. It's got a little bit of payoff later that he needs this liquid courage to fulfill his task. So this is really where he's properly insane here, because he's got the way he speaks, the way his hands and movement is. It's not fluid. It's it's not functioning. It's like he's dysfunctional. Yes, that's just attracting the lightning to the plasma ball or whatever. I'm really rubbish at science things. Yeah, he's so happy that he's just managed to get a plasma ball working. So he's sort of, thank God, the relief that he's managed to do the first part of this task. Just giving off a little bit more of exposition insanity. Yeah, so lightning, which resurrected Frankenstein in the novella and the film. So, why not use the bones to resurrect with lightning to resurrect the thing again? This weird grin that he does here. Yeah, it's he's forgotten how to smile almost. Cause he's just been that miserable this whole time with this burden. He doesn't, and his jaw is ever so slightly offset. So it's like he's always been. His teeth have always been gritted. And here we have the ghost of Frankenstein's monster back again. They're never in the same shot. I made sure that they were all never in the same shot to create divide. Yeah, his speech here is very broken. It's disorientated. It's not flowing. Quick, so there's not much screen presence of Frankenstein's monster here. It's to make him, off to the side, off to the background. He's no longer irrelevant because Daniel has managed to, he's got an idea here. He's the one in charge. He's taking up the most screen time. He's dominating the shots and that. Oh, it's just an example to show what the candle going into the plasma ball shows that how destructive this plasma ball is and how much energy it must have. It's sort of just looking at the camera almost to give off, this is where he realises that he knows what to do now. He knows how to defeat Frankenstein. He knows what to do. He drops it. He has no intention of, fulfilling that. And it's this. This is a monologue. I think it's.
You're a threat to society.
He's realised that he's it's better off that Frankenstein's monster's a ghost than it is to be, you know, alive again. And it's just slowly, ever so slowly zooming in to show that, you know, Daniel's the one with the power here. He's the one in charge in this situation.
The solution for you.
It's very subtle, but it's still there. And it's again, his speech is just, he's been so wrapped up in fulfilling out this task that he's not really a functioning human anymore. Yeah, so it gives off a bit of a character arc, how destructive this task can be. Again, just very quick shots of Frankenstein to show that he don't have power anymore. Unlike with the other scenes, he's not have power.
You are useless.
It's a close up to really like get gritty and personal with Daniel. You know, this character that we've seen develop throughout the whole film. You know, he's finally done. He's finally no longer a bad person. As you'll see in a minute, he's sacrificed his entire life, which is why the film's called The Ultimate Sacrifice, because the biggest sacrifice you can give is your life. You know, it can't get any bigger than that. You know, your entire existence gone. So he's realised that, you know, he saved his friends. He saved him, you know, the destruction that Frankenstein in the newspaper in the past has caused. This can all be prevented from happening again. History repeating itself again. Science fiction again, the theme of science fiction, you know, the zooming of the Enterprise. And yeah, this is where he just sacrifices himself, so it's how destructive this is. They're all framed in close-ups, low angles, so he should be respected, with the lighting all around his face. You know, they should be respected for this. There's such a noble act. You'll see this. The scene fades to white to show that the truth, and is quick. It's very quickly fades to white. Then it goes to black, and the credits. The use of going from white to black shows that, you know, he's dead. He's gone. He's given up everything he can. And then yeah, the use of black is he's surrounded by darkness. He spent his last moments surrounded by darkness, and he is a character that he should be respected for. Yes, that's everything.